We got an update today with an amazing new device and some crazy leaks. Today we got the brand new Health Powerup Device, which is super cool. And I'm gonna go super in depth into the device and all of its amazing settings and also its amazing visual properties. Like guys, this is really cool. There's also a couple of other really cool changes that I'll go into. But before we do, there's some amazing leaks that I have to talk about right now. So my friend Synonymous found this amazing leak where they're going to add a save point device. So these are some of the potential device settings. You can allow the player to clear data, auto load, auto save, save checkpoint, save class. You can save their health and inventory. You can even have them save their minigame stats, so that's how many kills they have, the player location, their resources, and even their team. Like, this is a game-changing thing, guys. If you mix this with the thermometer island, where you can have a ton of more memory, just think of the game modes that can be made. So many amazing adventure maps, survival maps, and all sorts of things that can be done. I'm so excited about this, guys. I'll be thinking about this for a long time. I've already got some ideas for an amazing game mode that could happen. Okay, let's jump into the new device. So if you go to your devices, you're gonna see this new health power up right here. Let's place it down and check it out. Okay, here's the default settings right there. Now visually, you can actually resize it and make it really big. So that's as big as it gets, or really tiny. There you go, there's a little tiny green heart for you. But we'll mess around with the visuals in just a minute. All right, let me show you some of the settings. I'm gonna come over here so you guys can see a little better. You can have this device modify your health only or your shield only, or both. Let me show you what it does when you have it on both. So if you get damaged, you would think that your health would be healed first and then your shields would increase. But when it's on both, it actually just gives you health and shield. So that's just something to know when you're doing both. It doesn't like intuitively select health first and then shield. It gives you both shield and health. Okay, then you can change how it increases. So it's a flat increase or a percent increase. Let me show you what percent increase means. So right now I have an effect magnitude of 20. If I'm on flat increase, it will only increase by 20 total. But if I do percent increase, then it's a percentage of my health. So right now with my max health at 100, that means at a 20% increase, I will get 20 health. But now with my max shield and max health up to 200, when I pick this up, it should increase by 40 because it's 20% of 200. Hopefully that makes sense. Now also you can change it to a flat decrease or a percentage decrease. Also when you change it to decrease, it changes the color and the animation, and it also changes the ambient sound, which is really cool. I actually really like this ambient sound here. It sounds kind of creepy. I should also mention when you change it to shield only, it also changes the color to blue. So you've got green, blue, and that broken red as your color options, which is really cool. Okay, so then you can change the effect magnitude really as much as you want. It goes all the way down to 0, and it goes all the way up to 2,500 health. You can also change the effect duration. So right now it's on instant, so when I pick it up, I get 20 health. But when I change this to last for a number of seconds, you can now see when I pick it up, my health increases every second by 20. And you can see here all the different time settings you can have, even to an infinite amount. So once you pick up this power up, you're always healing. There's also a visual effect when you pick this up. Let me just show you what it looks like. The visual effect's actually really hard to see when you're running, but when you're standing still, you can see it. Like there, you can see the little like plus signs like showing up around Mr. Peely there. So it's actually a really minor visual effect, but it's cool to have nonetheless, and you can turn it off if you want. You can also have a disable effect on the pickup. So when you turn this on, you can see there's a little stop sign there. So that means when they run over it, it will stop the effect from something that has already been activated. So maybe you have like an area that gives you a lot of health when you're standing in it, but then when you walk out of it, it stops. You could also set that up with like a mutator zone if you wanted. You can also change the pickup radius. So currently it's set on touch, but you can change that pickup radius from 0.25 all the way up to 5 meters. So this is 5 meters right there. That's as far away as you can have people picking up these power-ups. You can change how often it respawns, anything from never to instant to a different increments of seconds, all the way up to 5 minutes. You can have it spawn at the very beginning of your game, or have it set up to a trigger or a channel. You could turn off the ambient sound so it doesn't sound like anything. It is a pretty loud effect, so you might want to have that off. You can also turn off the pickup audio so that there's no effect when they pick it up. Then we get into some really interesting settings. You can choose which team affects it. So if you have like a home base for your team and you get health while you're standing in your base, you'd only want it to affect the team members that are a part of that base. You can also change it so it only works to a certain class that you've set up. So maybe you have like a medic class and they're the only ones who can like heal their team, which brings us to our next setting. You can have it so when someone picks it up, it affects the single player or it can affect the player's team. So if you have your medic class and they can go and pick up these health things and it gives everyone on the team 20 health, that's really cool. You can also change it to where when someone picks it up, it heals an entire class of people, or it can only affect those who are the same class on that person's team. You can also change who can see the power up. So you can make it so nobody can see it at all, because you might want it to just be invisible, or have like a doorway that has a really cool effect on it that when they walk through, they're healed. You can have it so everyone can see it, or only the players that can pick it up can see it. So once again, if you have that medic class that only the medic can pick it up, they're the only ones who will be able to see it. And then you have all of the pretty much the default settings now when it comes to how it connects to channels. This is where really all of the magic happens. So this is a really cool device, and I'm actually really excited about it, especially when you start to think about it in survival maps, or when you can actually save your progress, which I'm so excited about. All right, now let's mess around with some of the visuals on this. So I'm gonna make it really big so you guys can see what I'm doing. But here's one thing to think about when you're placing this down visually. It's always rotating on that same little axis when I place it down. So you can see they're all in sync when they're on the same axis. But when I place it down, then I change the yaw, you can see it starts to have this really cool effect on it. And now it looks like a drill or something drilling into the ground. And then rotate that in a circle. Look at this like crazy thing now that I'm making. Okay, so now I don't even know what this is. Let's see what it looks like if I change it to red. And let's play around with some of the angles a little more. Okay, so here we go. Okay guys, I don't really even know what I'm creating here. But when you start messing around with things, you get some really cool looking effects. Check that out! Now I'm kind of like creating a, I don't know, corrupted 0 point or something. Man guys, that actually looks legit. Okay, now one thing to note on these things, the render distance is not far on this. So I actually made that last structure over here. See, you can see it's right over there. And look, my red one has disappeared. So it's a really short render distance. Now, just a couple of other things were added to this update. So now when you search power-ups, you'll see all the power-ups in this list. It used to be where you had to like throw out the fries, and then you could pick up the damage amplifier or the visual effects power-up, but now they're all separate, which is a really nice quality of life change. But also they've added the setting into each of these power-ups where you can select the team and the class that the power-ups are applied to. So these are all really powerful settings. I can't wait to see what game modes come out of just changing those few settings. They've also added some settings to the mutator zone. So they've added that you can allow editing or disallow editing. They've made it so you can change the building cost of materials and the building speed. So let's see what 200% building speed looks like. There's 200% building speed versus the normal speed is like that. So let's see, that builds almost as fast. That's really cool. So it's actually a really cool update, but I'm even more excited about some of the things that are coming down the road. Oh man.